Hey everybody, it's Chris Harrison here with Main Place Real Estate, and we're bringing you another episode of the Main Points with Main Place. Today I have Zane Peterson with me, and we were really the original founders of the full service brokerage of Main Place Real Estate.
That's right.
And yeah, so today,
5 years ago.
5 years, right at the same time frame.
Yeah.
Kind of in that August time frames when we first started talking about it. So
Correct.
I think what was kind of important today to talk about was how Main Place Real Estate, we started as a full service brokerage, but really what we've evolved into is really we have two different arms to it now. And currently you're the manager of the commercial team.
That's correct. Yeah. And likewise, you're the manager of the residential team.
That is correct. Yes. Yes. So I think what's important to share with people, what does manager of the commercial team mean? What does commercial real estate look like in Central Illinois, and kind of what's happening in that world?
Yeah. Well, I would say, going back the time frame of 5 years, and you and I each sold real estate for about 5 years before that, there's always an evolution, and the evolution is experience gained, different projects gained through that, and ultimately the level of focus and attention that those projects need.
Sure.
And doing both, I know you have similar thought process and similar, sentiment of this. Doing both, a house comes on the market and you got to drop what's on your desk and go show that house to a client to best serve them. You're not best serving the project on your desk that takes some analytical work, crunching some numbers and getting back to your commercial client.
Right.
So that was what you and I faced, and we, had a long, hard conversation, and
Yep.
you stuck with residential, and I said, I'm going to hand off all my residential clients to the residential team and go take on commercial.
Sure.
So that's what we did. And it just comes down to the level of focus. I think back, my dad ran a small business, and above his desk, he had a picture of a bald eagle, and it said focus. And when the eagle chases 2 rabbits, he ends up with 0 rabbits. But if the eagle chases 1 rabbit, you end up with a rabbit.
Right.
So in the sales brokerage side and a sales career, that level of focus and attention to detail led us to have the division of
absolutely
and giving our clients still the best service, which is the most important.
Right. So talk about, now that the rabbit analogy is a really good one. So now that you're chasing 1 rabbit, I'm chasing the other rabbit. It really has worked out. What does your day look like? Like, what are you doing to catch that rabbit in a sense of to close the commercial deal?
I tell you what, it's not as glamorous as it looks on TV. It's not just driving around and walking through some big industrial properties, and it's hitting the phones, it's responding to a lot of emails, and then there's some analytical back end work that I usually try to get done first thing in the morning before my phone starts ringing, or late at night when hopefully my clients are in bed and not sending emails.
Sure.
So it really depends on the project. Obviously, in commercial real estate, there's a few different core asset groups. I mean, retail is probably what average person relates to the most. Your quick service restaurant, the store that you shop in. Industrial, being, manufacturing. Decatur's a heavy industrial town, especially in comparison to some others in Central Illinois. Then you have office space, which is always great. Decatur actually has a pretty good office market.
Okay.
Pretty strong. And then multifamily, and I classify multifamily also with investment, where a lot of times with multifamily, it's, not so much the management of it, although, our firm does some of that. It's really the analytical part of crunching numbers, comparing, what the rent income is, what the expenses are, what's the ultimate performance of the property. And that can be related to any property once a tenant and lease is in place.
Sure. So you mentioned that the glamorous part is looking at these big fancy buildings and cashing big checks, but the non-glamorous part is analyzing numbers, responding to emails, talking with people, negotiating terms. That it's a grind, and I think that's what we saw was you got to be hyper focused on what you're doing to be successful at that.
And the legalities of it. Typically in commercial real estate, you want an attorney involved. I'm not an attorney. You're not an attorney. Thankfully, at Main Place, we do have in-house counsel, which helps. But every contract's different. Every contract has a different clause in it that can be interpreted a different way, a different deadline. Whereas residential, it's very much, okay, you have a set amount of time to get your inspections done. Once you negotiate any inspection issues, we're on the road to closing. Commercial's not always that way. It's almost negotiation until the final, signing at the table.
Right.
Oftentimes. So it's never ending. But it's fun. It's that grind that makes it fun. And
it's got to be fun, or else we wouldn't do it, right?
It's kind of like playing golf. You get that one good shot, and it brings you back.
The one that brings you back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, again, I thought it was just important for everybody to kind of know, what we're doing and how we're focusing now. So that's good.
Correct.
So thanks for sharing.
And I think a lot of it comes down to still helping out families. A lot of the average business is still a family-owned business, and whether they're the families, downsizing or moving up into a house, or whether they have a business change for their family-owned business, Main Place is here to help.
Yep. Awesome. Very good. Well, I think, on the residential side, what I've found too is I'm not stuck in that spreadsheet or stuck, analyzing a 40-page lease or anything, where, in the residential business, it is a little more reactionary, timely, new house on the market, let's go. I'll be there in an hour.
Well, especially with the market right now.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So what we're seeing is, if something comes on the market, we need to go. I think the other thing that honestly, as I've converted just to doing residential, is being available for clients, emotionally being available to them, because, we talked from the beginning. I think one of our original mission statements was, this is a complex, emotional, large financial decision, and we're here to help people through that. The complexity of it and the emotional part of buying and selling a house is real, and people need time to talk with somebody about that. So what I find my time now more is talking with people, talking through things, talking through the if-thens, the pros, cons. So that's, this change has really helped me be more available for my clients too. So
that's excellent.
Yeah.
And I would say the exact opposite in commercial. I don't know too many commercial people that are in love with the building that they work in, or the income property that they have. It really comes down to metrics, numbers, and opportunity cost. If your business is expanding, you can have the option to go purchase a building, lease a building, or go buy land and build a building. It all comes down to the metrics of the deal and what makes sense for the longevity and the financials of your company.
Right.
Which just don't have a whole lot of emotions involved in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yet when we are helping people with houses, they'll throw financials out the window sometime. If it's got an in-ground pool that they've always wanted, they'll throw the logic out of the window sometimes. And sometimes that's when we have to be there too, to help them through that. I think the other thing about logic too is just in thought processes, we've got a great team of agents now. When we started, it was Chris and Zane. We've got quite a team of agents now that are all learning, or all getting into different experiences, and also helping other clients through their complex, emotional, large financial decision too. So more of my time is spent doing that now too, is just helping an agent help a client too. So it's good.
Excellent.
So yeah.
So I will say in this divide too, some things, obviously you and I have gone down the CCIM coursework, things like that. I happen to be president of the CCIM Illinois chapter this year. That's made some great connections across the state and across the nation of throughout commercial real estate, and have really become a top referral partner source for some of these national brokerage companies who have national accounts with, your Fortune 100 company, but they're sitting in an office in Houston or in Chicago, and they don't really even know how to get to Decatur or get to, Springfield outside where it's out on the map. So those have created some unique opportunities in the commercial field to partner with these other industry professionals who have that client contact. And we're here now as Main Place, being in the center of the state, kind of owning the Central Illinois market.
So what that means is you've got a large company that has a large broker based in Houston or Atlanta or Philly or something, and that company says, we need a location in Central Illinois. And that big shot broker from Philly isn't coming to Danville or Peoria or Decatur to find properties. They're contacting Main Place.
Correct. Yes. And then we're meeting with that local company rep in the home stretch of, we identified 3 properties that fit the metrics of what you need, square footage, height, all that. And then they finally jump on a plane, come through the area. We go check out locations. Sometimes, I had a tour last month where we were looking at locations in Peoria, Bloomington, Decatur, and Springfield.
Perfect.
So, it was a day of driving around and checking out just a building in each of those towns. It's not like, the residential search where you're hopping in each neighborhood and but similar. It's still, hey,
your neighborhoods are Peoria, Bloomington, Springfield.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If they're looking in the market and, that's obviously metric related, they're doing enough business here to support a new location.
Right.
And we're here to help them through that.
Yep. That's great. And again, I think, we originally visioned that. We originally said, this is how the business is going to grow, is to become a Central Illinois brokerage. And we wanted our residential brokerage to be a very influential broker in Macon County.
Correct.
And both things are happening now.
Yep.
So
2 eagles soaring and
how about
chasing
that?
Rabbits. Yeah.
Nailing the rabbits. So good. Well, anything else to add? I think this is really good.
No, I think this is good. This is fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we're definitely going to keep doing it. And so,
okay. Hopefully you invite me back.
I'm sure I will.
All right.
Perfect. Well, good. Well, if we've got other information about other episodes, check out our description below and you can find where to find all our podcasts. So thanks for tuning in. To check out past or future Main Points, find us at YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts.